Alrighty, y'all. Now let's work some word problems that relate to Pythagorean theorem. Alright, so this one says a 10-foot ladder is leaning on an 8-foot building. What is the distance between the building and the ladder? So whenever you get questions like this, it's pretty helpful to draw pictures. So let's go ahead and draw that. So we know a 10-foot ladder is leaning. So we know it's going to be leaning. So that ladder, that's an ugly ladder. That ladder is leaning on an 8-foot building. So this is going to be my building. So my building is 8 feet and my ladder was 10 feet. We want to know, hey, what's the distance between the building and the ladder, right? So we know we want to figure out this side. If you look at it, you can kind of tell that it makes a right triangle. All right, so now we can go ahead and use our Pythagorean theorem formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So what do we know? All right, so we know that the diagonal, so the side that's always leaning, is our hypotenuse, which is c. All right, so we know that 10 is going to be c. And then we only know one of our legs, so we know we want to figure out what the other one is, right? So we only know one, and we know that is 8. And we need to work backwards to figure out what is A. What is that missing side length at the bottom? All right, so 8 squared is 64 equals 100. So A squared plus 64 equals 100. Remember, it's like solving an equation. So we want to subtract 64 from both sides. So we know A squared is going to equal 36, but to get rid of that square, we want to square root it. So the square root of 36 is just 6. So I know A equals 6. Very, very simple. It's just a matter of drawing your pictures and making sure you understand what sides are given, all right? So we're going to try one more. All right, let's try this one. A 15-foot tree casts a shadow that is 8 feet long. What is the distance from the tip of the tree to the tip of its shadow? All right, so let's go ahead and draw that picture. So we know the tree is, so a 15-foot tree. So let's draw a tree first. All right, so a 15-foot tree. So we know that our tree is 15. Casts a shadow. What is a shadow? So you know the shadow lays on the floor, right? So the shadow is basically the reflection on the floor. So we know that that shadow, that's going to be the little shadow of the tree. That shadow is 8 feet long. We want to know what is the distance from the tip of the tree to the tip of its shadow. So we want to know how far is it from there to there, from tip to tip, all right? That's some ugly lines. So from here to here. Alright, so we can fill in our Pythagorean theorem formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Alright, what do we know? We know one leg and we know the other leg. We know we do not know c. We do not know that hypotenuse, so that's what we're solving for. So we're going to do 15 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. We want to figure out what is c. All right, 15 squared is, honestly, I don't know, so let's work it out. 15 times 15, 7, 5, 1, would be 225, plus 64 equals c squared. So let's work that out as well. What's 225 plus 64? It would be 289. So 289 equals c squared. To get rid of that square, we know we need to square root it. So let's go ahead and do that. This is probably going to be much harder, but we can say, let's see what 16 squared is. Let's work over here. What's 16 times 16?
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has
256 with 17 times 17. 49, 117. It's actually 17. So the square root of 289 is 17. So C equals 17. 17 times 17 is 289. You guys don't have a calculator, so that's why I started working stuff out on the side. So because you don't have a calculator, you actually have to do the math if it doesn't come to you naturally. So what can you multiply by itself to get 289? I kind of worked it out over here, and I figured out that it's actually 17, all right? So those are Pythagorean theorem word problems. If you need more help, please just let me know.